Tim's Computer Repair. Hello everybody once again. Today we're going to be looking at doing some work on a Dell Alienware Aura R15. This is a desktop version. Now there are several different models of R15s here. They all kind of look a little different, but one thing they all have in common is that they all have a very similar water cool unit. It's a dual rad water cool system. Some are RGB, some are not. In this particular case, the customer was complaining about having shutdowns during gaming. So I installed some temperature monitoring software on their desktop and was able to observe temperatures slowly climbing at idle. I was also getting a no CPU fan detected error when the computer posted. Now this Alienware desktop, along with probably all of Alienware desktops nowadays, have proprietary parts, and in this case it definitely has a proprietary water cooler. The fact that it's RGB and non-RGB, they are both interchangeable, so whichever one you order, it will still work. Now the pump to this cooler gets its power from a USB fan header or from the pump header on the motherboard. So I did do some troubleshooting to be sure that that header had power. I even plugged in a separate fan to that fan header, and I still got a CPU fan error in before post. So I knew it was the cooler itself. Pretty simple process on swapping this out. So let's take a look here at how it's done. Well, here we have it, the replacement water cool unit for this PC. I will leave the link to this part here down below this video in the comments in the description. If you're interested or needing one, I will leave that link for you. So let's get this guy installed. So we're going to start off here with the pump or the actual heatsink itself. We're going to loosen this. It comes off basically, this part of it comes off like any other water cool water block. Crisscross so we release an even amount of tension on each side. Let's see where we are here. I still think we're still not quite loose enough. We've got to be sure that the screws come out of there. Comes out of the back plate that's on this. It is moving around though, so we're getting somewhere. That's loose, that's loose. This one's still kind of in there. There we go. Okay, so that's loose. And then we'll just disconnect the CPU pump fan header here, like that. That'd be this one. Lift it off. We can see what the thermal paste looks like. It looks about like I would have thought it would. There's that. We'll just kind of set that back down, just like that. And we're going to work on the actual radiator now. Relatively simple process here. We have two fan connections. Can't quite see that one, but there's one over here also. Then we're going to unplug and disconnect that. Then we're going to take out these two Phillips screws right here. There's one, here's the other. Okay, then there's the spring assembly here with these two tabs shown in blue. You just press them down, and how about that? It lifts straight out of the case, just like that. And then we'll take the heatsink, and there you go. And that's how we remove the water cooler from this R16 computer here. Now we just do everything opposite with the new cooler. Let's make sure that our two fan cables, where did that one go? There we go. Yeah, we got to make sure our fan cables are going down into these little grooves that are on the side of these fans like this. Okay. Then there are these slots that are here at the top of the case. You want to be sure these slots go into place. And there is a groove here between two connectors. You want to be sure that this tubing goes in between that, or you'll have a hard time. And we want to be sure we don't get any thermal paste or anything. We'll lay the heatsink down there sideways. Line everything up down where these pins are here. Get that into its groove. That's in its groove. And yeah, we're good to go. So we'll just snap it into place. There we go. Now that's ready to go. I wish all the water coolers or radiators were that easy on all cases. And we can go ahead and plug in our fans here. back where they go. That fan, we'll move this out of the way, plug in this fan. Okay, those are plugged in. Set this heatsink aside. Now we're going to clean the thermal paste off of this processor. That's good. Touch bit of isopropyl, clean that off, dry it off. I am using a coffee filter. Okay, it's nice and dry. This heatsink has thermal paste pre-applied, so we're just going to stick with that. And the back plate stays put on this. It doesn't drop out the bottom like some do, so that's a good thing. And we'll just mount this guy right back, line up all the holes here. Yeah, everyone, so I realized this on the fly. Check this out. There is a different sized bracket on the old one than the new one. This is for two different sized back plates. The original one is larger, 1700. This is probably for another gen processor here. So there's got to be a way to swap these, and I think there is. So let's have a look. And this is something that kind of surprised me, because even on Dell's manual where they show you how to disassemble all this stuff, they have no mention of this process. But we're going to take off some of these screws and see if I can't get this to come off, and we'll swap them out. So I've just noticed here that there are 4 screws, and I can already feel that this guy here is a little loose. I really do have a feeling that can come off and we can swap them out, but I'm going to start off by taking out these 4 screws. Yeah, so in ordering this water cooler, there's no mention of different types of sockets or mounting when you do order it, so just assume that it was the same exact gen that we're dealing with here. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, so this top part comes off like this. All right, let's see what this looks like. Okay, let's slide this all the way out. Interesting, interesting. Let's have a closer look. I do have some play here on this bracket. Here's circuitry to the pump itself, and but I do notice, aha, I just turned it and it comes right off. So I probably didn't even have to take off this cover. I just didn't turn it hard enough. I tried to turn it before. Interesting. So there we go. It is removable and replaceable. Yeah, that's pretty interesting though. I was able to have a look on the inside of the circuitry to the pump. Now, it may actually be the circuitry itself that's bad and not the pump itself, but that's okay. We got a new pump anyway. All right, well, let's bring over the other case here that we installed that pump on. I'm going to try to do it without you know, taking the whole water pump and assembly the whole thing back off, even though it's not that big a deal. Let's bring that back over here and get this swapped out. How about that? Okay, yeah, I'll look in the bottom of this guy. It's got the same exact 4 screws. Yeah, that's locked in by those screws right there, I believe so. So I want to be sure that I notice the orientation of the bracket here. So I've got the number 1, these are labeled. I got the number 1 facing top left from the alien head. So we'll just kind of go ahead, take out these screws, separate that a little bit, pull that down. That's what I did before on the other one and it came off. Well, this one wants to be a little bit, you got to push down on it. Looks like maybe. I'll try putting this back on. No, it's got to come off. I'm just doing this as I go, guys. Well, yeah, it's getting there. There we go. Just had to hold your tongue right. And then this comes right out. You had to push down and then turn. You have to definitely pull back this shroud here. Push down and turn. Let me make sure this goes back on right. It's going to go like this. And the number 1 is going to go over here. So we'll line it all up. Push down and lock that in. That worked out pretty good. So that's locked into place. We'll kind of put this down here for a minute. And then let's make sure that this thing lines up correctly. And it does not. So I need to go over one. I need to go this way. That's okay. No big deal. Go over this way. Line it up. Push down. Lock it in. There we go. Let's triple check and make sure that looks right. And that looks correct. There we go. And now we'll just put these screws back in to secure it. And we should be good to go to mount. We'll try it again. So I guess we all learned something today in replacing this proprietary Alienware water cooler. All right. Now, as we were trying to do before, we want to go ahead and mount this guy, line up. Oh, that's more like it. That's more like it. Before I was going, hey, these guys don't line up. What the heck? It's for a different socket. Okay, it feels pretty lined up. Of course, we'll crisscross when we tighten. Okay, it's working here. We're getting there. Okay, well, we got to plug in our CPU fan here. Kind of tricky, kind of difficult the way they got everything lined up here on this proprietary motherboard. All right, that's making me mad. There we go. And the only thing we have left to do now is to test this to be sure that it all operates just fine. And hopefully we don't get another CPU fan error. Now, I don't remember what I showed you before, but I did actually plug in a fan to this CPU fan header to be sure that it's getting power. So I just tested it. I actually just briefly, for a split second, powered on this. What did I do? Oh, here's what I did. Now, what I did was with the old cooler mounted, I disconnected the CPU fan header for the fan, and then I just unplugged one of these system fans and I plugged it into this CPU fan and powered it on just to be sure that I had power to the fan, and the fan was spinning. So I just want to be sure that we double check to be sure that we didn't have a dead header there, and according to what I tested, we didn't. So now we're going to find out if we fixed the issue. Okay, everyone, got power to it, got everything plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and power this on and see if we get any CPU fan header issues. Where is the power button on this thing? Oh, it's probably right there, yeah. The alien head. All right, we have fans spinning here. See if we get a post. We got RGB lights going. We did not get a CPU fan error. Oh, sorry. We do. Let's go ahead and go into the BIOS. Here we go. And see if we can find temperatures here. Well, first of all, in this BIOS, there were really no temperatures. What had happened was, is that after being on for a very short time, all the fans started revving up. And that's how I knew, that's one of the signs that I knew he was getting very bad heat issues. So advanced, but in this BIOS there's fan speeds, but there's no temperatures. So let's just go ahead and boot into Windows. I will say currently there is no, the fans aren't spinning up rapidly, which is a good thing. There we go. So let's go ahead and log into this guy. The fans aren't speeding up, so that's a very good sign that everything's going to be okay here. Let's let it load up. Okay, here we are on the desktop. All right, everyone, if you remember what the temperatures were like before at idle, this is what they are now at idle. Much, much better. Low 30s, topping out at 50. That's what the issue was. This isn't going to get any cooler than this. It's good to go. How about that? We have fixed this problem. Hey, have you guys ever worked on one of these computers? Let me know down here below in the chat, man. I'd like to know. Also, we all learned something today about the little bracket, swappable bracket that goes on for the back plate for different size sockets for an Alienware, because like I say, their removal process documentation online doesn't say a word about that. So that was kind of a surprise, but we got through it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this helps somebody out. I am Tim with Tim's Computer Repair. See you soon.